from wherever you are joining me. This is Mayegun live. And thank you so much once again for joining us. Remember, read the caption of this broadcast. Read the description as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. And thank you very much if you have done that already. So tonight, we are delving into an ongoing kind of like a back and forth, face-off between the Ribadu, Ribatifu, Ribauli, Barao, right? Who is now the NSA to the druggie, Tinubu. In the last 1 week, Ribadu has been threatening a woman called Naja'atu Mohammed. She is this outspoken woman who was very kind of like vocal during the 2023 charade. The woman that said she met with Tinubu, because Tinubu specifically requested for her attention and audience, and she went and she asked Tinubu what was his plan for the northern Nigeria. And Tinubu said he had no plan. But if Naja'atu had any plan, she can share it with him. And yeah, he will look into it and make that Naja'atu's plan for northern Nigeria his plan. And because she wasn't convinced that Tinubu had any good intention, so she opted for Atiku. Long story short, he granted an interview in Hausa, in Hausa language. So I think it was a BBC Hausa or another medium, talking about the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy of those around the call Tinubu. And she specifically mentioned Ribadu, the Ribatifu, that is if people are taking, slots for their hypocrisy about Tinubu, Ribadu should be the first. This was a man who publicly, not just privately, who privately and publicly, right, said the two most corrupt governors that he ever investigated when he was the chairman of EFCC were Tinubu, the Jagawiri, the Jaga addict, the Jaga banditi, the Asiwaju Awole, Asiwaju Eyiole, as well as Oji Uzokalu, the ex-convicts. But in the course of Ribadu's life, he ended up having to kiss the ring, lick the ass of the druggie when he became the presidential candidate of the AC in 2007, I think, right? He finally kissed the ring, bent the knees, and licked the ass of the druggie. And he changed everything he ever said about Tinubu. So Naja'atu was kind of like expressing this, and that got to Ribadu. So Ribadu began threatening her as usual. Initially, he sent some private emissaries to her for her to withdraw what she said. And she said, no, I'm not going to withdraw that because it's true. Then the next thing was that I am going to use my office as the National Security Advisor to the druggie to frustrate your life. And that's a direct threat, according to her. Right? And she was like, it's like, you have no idea, Ribadu. You are dealing with somebody that you have no clue about. Bring it on. Then yesterday, she released a statement in video, right? She said, he has no apology. All right? If Ribadu wants to kidnap her, which is what the arrester, right? She's up for it. If Ribadu wants to go to court to challenge her, fine. But 2 days ago, right, El Rufaya, the Kaduna little finger, the Kaduna, what do you call it, a little man, so to say, also waded into this, and he said, it's true. It is actually true, right? That Ribadu, the Riba thief, the NSA to the druggie, actually brought a memo to the Federal Executive Council meeting under Obasanjo, where he presented facts or supposed facts to back his claim that if not for immunity, Tinubu should be languishing in jail for all he did, or he was doing then. However, immunity prevented Tinubu from going to jail for the time being. But today, Ribadu and Tinubu are allies. In fact, there is this clip. I think it was, it was around the 2007 or thereabout. I have it here before we proceed, right? On Ribadu and what he actually said on camera.
Why the EFCC appears compromised on matters concerning Tinubu. If not, how come he has not been charged to court, despite several petitions against him, and in spite of Nuhu Ribadu's boastful claims that he had enough evidence to nail him?
One of the governors, we think he took close to about 75% of the resources of the state.
One governor took 75% of the money from the state government?
And this is a state that is probably made over $1 billion in terms of revenue.
Or was it the reason he gave his ACN presidential ticket to Ribadu in 2011? It is apparent that there is a deliberate attempt at cover-up of all these alleged nefarious activities by one man. One can remember with nostalgia Tinubu's case at the Code of Conduct, but like a cat with 9 lives, he still evades justice. The case against him was simple and grievous for any government.
Always evade justice, because Nigeria is a crime scene, a den of criminals, and those who are to put Tinubu and his likes in jail, they are as compromised, as dirty as the man you want them to put in jail. And that is why somebody like him and people like him have always been like a thriving in that contraption. So, and there was actually a paper, like a newspaper cuts around the time as well. This was what El Rufaya, Kaduna Littlefinger, shared. It was the time when, again, this was when Ribadu was the EFCC chair in Nigeria, when he said, we will frustrate Tinubu and Kalu and others, simply because, these were people who were like enjoying at the time an immunity from prosecution, not immunity from investigation. So normally, right, if Nigeria was a real country, Tinubu won't be your president. He will be in jail, even in this old age. I asked their Grok to make me a clip, a picture of Tinubu in prison uniform and handcuff. And he gave me this several, this is my 2 favorites. It would have been Tinubu normally if Nigeria was a real country, but Nigeria is not a real country, unfortunately. All right. So Naja'atu statement on, to Ribadu was that you don't need to intimidate or threaten me. Just do it, because you will get no apology from this side. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Naja'atu.
I am Naja'atu Muhammad, the founder and chairperson board of trustees for the Northern Star Youth Initiative. There is no retreat, no surrender, no apologies to Nuhu Ribadu. I'm speaking in response to the recent threats and intimidation by Nuhu Ribadu using his attack dogs and his lawyer Ahmed Raji and co. Regarding my statement that the then chairman of the EFCC had publicly accused the then governor of Lagos State, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, of being, and I quote, a corrupt government official who will not escape justice. While I acknowledge that Nuhu Ribadu might have forgotten or chosen to retract his comments from the past, I stand by my statement and do not believe an apology is warranted. Apology to whom exactly? To President Tinubu for the earlier comments made by his now National Security Advisor? or apology to Nuhu Ribadu for his forgetfulness and master-serving mindset. I stand by my original statement and will not be retracting it. My words accurately reflect my views on the matter based on what is already in public domain. And I do not believe an apology or retraction is necessary. I will not compromise my position to appease Ribadu and his attack dogs. I will not retract my statement, nor will I apologize for speaking the truth as I see it. Nuhu Ribadu, you have issues. As you have threatened, please go straight to court, but nothing will silence me. You must understand that you cannot intimidate me. No one can intimidate me. I live for posterity, not for people like you. I have, over the past 48 hours, received multiple threats, calls informing me that you seek to send your attack dogs on me. It is so unfortunate that your attack dogs need to notify me before arresting me. If this is the new standard of operations of your attack dogs, Nigerians must stop wondering why known terrorists and bandits continue to evade arrest while truth sayers and patriots are being oppressed, detained, and threatened. Finally, I have just received reliable information that there is an existing attempt to subvert the judiciary for further intimidation, to force me into retracting my statement. Nuhu Ribadu, you have failed. You have failed the nation. You have failed your voice. You have failed yourself. I refuse to be intimidated. I will continue to tell the truth as I understand it. And let me tell you that no amount of intimidation, no prison on earth is Naja'atu afraid of. The only prison that I fear of is the prison that we will all go into. That is our graves. But even that, I have no fear because I live in harmony with my Creator. So Nuhu Ribadu, do your worst. The worst is best for me. I stand by what I say. I'll continue to say it. I don't care what you think or what you do. I stand by what I say. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Naja'atu. If you know her very well, right, you can be very rest assured that she's not bluffing. All right? She's one very outspoken woman from that part of Nigeria, no doubt. All right? I remember when she took on El Rufaya as well, the one that is trying to be on her side now. El Rufaya, when they were all calling out the people, when they were kind of like targeting the people, calling out Bokwari at the time. Naja'atu had this to say about the El Rufaya then, a flashback.
One, who brought El Rufaya to BPE? It was Atiku. It was on Atiku's recommendation that he was brought into the PBE. It was on Atiku's recommendation when Obasanjo wanted to restore the FCT original plan. He wanted somebody that he felt was strong enough to withstand the heat. So he asked Atiku for advice, and Atiku recommended El Rufai. In fact, by the time El Rufai went to the Senate for clearance, the Senate refused to clear him. It took the intervention of this same Atiku for him to be cleared. So what did he do? The first thing he did was to betray Atiku. He started fighting Atiku. Not just that, even in Obasanjo's book, Obasanjo has referred to him as, I have heard of how, and I'm quoting Obasanjo's book now, I have heard of how he ruthlessly savaged the reputation of his uncle, a man who was like, in the African setting, his foster father. I shredded when I heard the story of what he did to his half-brother in the Air Force, who is senior to him in age. This is what Obasanjo has said about El Rufai. So El Rufai is pathological liar. He is so shameless. He says things that suits him when it suits him. I don't think that is right that Nigerians should continue to listen to people like that. When it suited him, before 2015, he had said all sorts of derogatory things about Muhammad Buhari. But by 2015, when he wanted to be governor, he came and knelt down before Buhari. Because he's nothing in Kaduna without Buhari. In fact, he is so unpopular. His unpopularity in Abuja was transferred to Kaduna because of the demolitions. If one of his benefactors, an uncle of his, who had served his people his parents very well, Justice Sambu, Justice Bashir Sambu, he helped the family very much. He's from Zaria like them. He helped one who brought...
Just for you to have an idea of who is Naja'atu. That's who she is. I mean, since I have known her, right, she's always been that kind of like outspoken, blunt and all that. And somebody with serious confidence in her conviction. You get that now? So when I saw Ribadu and these attack dogs, as she kind of like claimed, right, coming for her, I was like, man, I can't wait to see her on any of this Your TV, because very soon you're going to see her on TV. But I didn't know she was going to make a short video to send to Ribadu that do your worst. What is that worst you can do? You this shameless animal, so to say. You know, people who lack shame are those that are in charge of their contraption, genuinely, like seriously. When you look at those in charge of your government in that contraption, they are just, well, people you can call, benefiting hypocrites. The people that can eat their words and they have no real shame. They are those who can praise the devil if their feeding bottle is being refilled by that devil. And then they will scream blue murder. They will scream death the moment they are no longer in favor. And that is the routine of that contraption. Shameless people, men without integrity, men and women with no real shame, because you see, if you have to worship the devil, if you have to lick all asses, as long as you can live that, as long as you can live in that fake life of, fake life of power, so to say. And that is why they will tell you that in Nigeria politics, there is no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, just permanent interests. But guess what? Their interest is not the interest of the people. It is their personal interest. Though. Once their personal interest is not being met, then they will begin to act like they are on the side of the people. That's how they do it, right? Unscrupulous elements, parading themselves as honorable men and women. And that is why I don't really see them as that. I see them as criminals. That's how I see them. In case if you think that, we are being disrespectful by not giving honor to dishonorable men and women, you don't honor criminals. You see, don't follow the words of mouth, but the actions of these rogues tells more about who they are. It is their actions that I kind of love to judge, not even their utterances, not what they say or didn't say, just their actions and inactions, so to say. Majority of those who are miling around Tinubu today, they are among those who concluded that Tinubu he somehow has enslaved the Lagos. He has turned Lagos to his own family or personal fiefdom. And therefore, if you are willing to kiss the ring, then he is willing to probably give you money and turn you to Ajele, anywhere you want to be. from the north to the east to the west. You see a lot of those criminal politicians, you know, miling around them in the dark, even in the open, just for money. But yet they know who he is. They do. But when they have that power, that's all. That's another thing. I call them little men, men of, you know, men of the law. The only thing they have is the ill-gotten wealth, ill-gotten power. The ill-gotten power makes them feel so vulnerable that they all have a very, very soft kind of like, you know, thin skins that you can easily get under their skins so easily.